Every week, our channel offers new audiobooks that you can listen to for free. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the wisdom and knowledge that can transform your life. The world we live in is divided into the rich and the poor. Most people who struggle financially dream of becoming wealthy. Do you want to be one of them? The truth is, this won't happen unless you change your habitual thinking and behavior patterns. What is it within us that keeps us from enjoying abundance? In the first chapter, we'll explore the difference between the mindset of a poor person and that of a rich person. The division between the rich and the poor has always existed, and it's a reality that's hard to dispute. Most people dream of joining the ranks of the wealthy or at least envy them. But why is it that so many people, despite being intelligent and capable, are forced to live paycheck to paycheck, constantly denying themselves just to make ends meet? And why is it that so few people around us achieve not just wealth, but even financial independence? Could it be that the rich are a different breed of people, and that path is closed to us? In reality, this is far from the truth. Rich people are very much like you. And yes, you can become one of them too. But this is only possible if you decide to change your worldview and your habits. How to do this? We're about to show you. To make the most out of this information, keep a notebook and pen handy. You'll find them useful, and you'll learn a lot about yourself. So, what is a habit? A habit is an automatic response to certain situations that becomes ingrained in our behavior. For example, if you've developed the habit of turning off the lights before leaving the house, you'll do it automatically. Habits can be both helpful and harmful. Smoking, for instance, is a habit, but a harmful one. When it comes to finances, we also develop certain habits that can either help us succeed or hold us back. Think about it. Are you in the habit of saving? Or do you tend to spend money on small indulgences? Are you accustomed to keeping track of your income and expenses? There are habits that can seriously hinder your ability to gain wealth. If you have such habits, it will be difficult for you to become rich. For example, not being able to save and invest. What's the difference between a rich person and a poor one? Poor people work for a paycheck and spend it on daily necessities. It's a vicious cycle. Rich people, on the other hand, look for ways to make money work for them, striving to preserve and grow their income. A lack of personal and career growth is also a barrier to wealth. How often do you change jobs? Or do you stay in a familiar position even though you've long outgrown your duties? Most people seek stability and don't want to take risks, as changing jobs comes with certain challenges and stress. But wealthy people go where the opportunities for growth and income are. They aren't afraid of change. They try different options and find what brings in money. Read the biographies of the wealthiest people in the world, and much will become clear to you. Instead of increasing their income, poor people tend to reduce their needs. Saving can be beneficial for spiritual development, but if you're not ready for such radical measures, perhaps it's time to think about how to earn more. Poor people often wait for a miracle, like in a fairy tale. They believe that one day a golden fish will appear in their lives and everything will change. But in real life, wealth doesn't just fall from the sky. Rich people understand this and actively work on their skills to earn money. Every person has talents and abilities that can bring in income. Can you embroider or create computer programs? Why not turn your strengths into a business? Unlike the poor, rich people can see opportunities where others don't. They know how to generate ideas and bring them to life. Learn to create ideas that can be realized and make money. Even if you don't have the funds to bring your idea to life, you can always find people who will help you. Poor people justify their financial struggles with various ifs, but the rich act despite everything. If you've identified one or more of the habits mentioned earlier, now you understand why you haven't become financially successful yet. So, what should you do? The good news is that habits can be changed. This is encouraging because by changing your mindset, you can also change your financial situation. Unlike the rich, poor people often depend on their surroundings. Think about it. Do you allow yourself to be who you really are? How often do you act based on your own desires and goals rather than out of fear of what others might think? Unfortunately, poor people rarely dare to make independent decisions. The rich, on the other hand, set a goal and move toward it, regardless of others' opinions. Can you give up your TV, for example? ITV is something that many consider a household necessity. We don't just watch the news to stay informed, but we also spend our evenings on soap operas and talk shows. The next day, we discuss the twists and turns of the latest series with colleagues. But is this a constructive way to live? On the other hand, if you don't watch the series, your colleagues might think something's wrong with you. This happens in many aspects of our lives. We buy things we don't need, just because they're fashionable, to avoid looking worse than our neighbors. We waste our time instead of doing something useful and earning money. After all, you want to be rich, don't you? Here's another example of dependence on your environment. You know how to embroider and decide to create a few items to sell. You share this idea with a friend, and she, genuinely surprised, says, "Are you crazy? Where are you going to sell this? You'll just waste your time." Your idea fizzles out. But a rich person, if they are truly committed to success, will go ahead and do what they planned, no matter what. And he will succeed, because he never gives up. Even if something doesn't work out the first time, he'll find another way to achieve success. The difference between the rich and the poor is not that the rich always get everything right on the first try. Those who are now financial magnates likely faced more failures than most of us. But they didn't let those failures stop them. What about us? We tend to give up too soon. They don't let society dictate how they think and strive to think independently. So, what's stopping you from doing the same? Of course, it's easier and more convenient to be like everyone else. But if you aim for success in life, stop just dreaming and start taking action. It's crucial to remember that success starts with inner work on yourself. One of the main problems poor people face is the habit of looking for reasons for their failures in the external world. People love to make excuses and cite reasons like, "I didn't have startup capital, I couldn't get the right education, because I didn't have enough money, everyone around me is envious. I can't start something new because I need to support my family, I've just had bad luck in life. I'll never become rich because it's impossible in our society." These excuses create only an illusion of comfort but do not lead to wealth. If you want to achieve something in this life, you need to start by changing yourself. Self-improvement is hard work, and its importance cannot be overstated. If you constantly save money by buying things on sale or settling for low quality, you subconsciously emphasize your poverty and reinforce this state. As the Japanese say, we are too poor to buy cheap things. Buying cheap things ends up costing more in the long run because they quickly wear out and need to be replaced. Saving on things also reinforces a poverty mindset. Of course, there's no need to shop only in expensive boutiques, but it's also not wise to rely solely on flea markets. Sometimes we buy unnecessary things, lured by discounts or fashion trends. This senselessly wastes your time and money, and ultimately leaves you with useless clutter. Always ask yourself before buying, do you really need it? Saving on your health won't lead you to success either. Health is not an endless resource, and if you don't pay proper attention to it, sooner or later you will face serious problems. If you tend to feel sorry for yourself, telling others about your flaws and problems, you are programming yourself for failure. Why convince yourself of your weaknesses? Maybe it's time to stop doing that and start setting yourself up for success. If you often make excuses, even when you're right, this also holds you back. People who make excuses show their weakness. A strong person, if they are wrong, apologizes calmly, without losing their dignity. They won't apologize for who they are, only for a specific action or situation. Some believe that honest work is very hard, and big money must be illegal. In reality, you can earn big money honestly, and it can bring you pleasure. When you do what you enjoy and see the results of your work, it brings satisfaction and joy. If you constantly look at others and wonder, what will people say? You will never be able to develop the independent thinking necessary for wealth. Envy can also be useful if it motivates you to achieve the same or greater success as the object of your envy. Dreaming beautifully is wonderful, but if you don't take any steps to realize your dreams, they will remain just fantasies. Start acting, and you can significantly improve the quality of your life. If you don't believe in yourself, you will stand still. "I can't succeed" is a belief that holds you back. Of course, if you don't do anything, you won't achieve anything. But if you start taking action, even if everything doesn't work out the first time, you will gradually learn to achieve your goals. All problems start in our minds. If you change your thoughts and develop new, healthy habits, your life will change for the better. Scientists have concluded that many of our traits depend not so much on innate abilities as on our social environment. And it's not always about our parents. Sometimes our friends, whom we choose as our family, can influence our development in not the best way. Upbringing is an important process when experienced people pass on their knowledge to the younger generation. But how good is this really? Many of our reactions are based not on an objective assessment of reality, but on principles ingrained in childhood by our parents and surroundings. What were your parents like? Were they well off? Or maybe they faced a lack of funds and often told you, we don't have much money. Children remember everything, and these memories move into the subconscious. Take a piece of paper and a pen and write down your beliefs about money. Try to recall how your parents viewed money, what attitudes they had. Did they count every penny? Did they spend on entertainment? Did they try to save for the future? If you think that money is never enough, we don't have money. When you start working, you can buy whatever you want. Don't expect to make $1 million. We don't get paid much. These thoughts, instilled in childhood, can hold you back from achieving success. Many of us grew up in conditions where money wasn't always plentiful. This led us to approach money cautiously and to doubt our ability to earn enough for a comfortable life. These beliefs start to work in our conscious age, and we don't even try to change the situation, assuming it's impossible. Take, for example, the story of a man named Ivan. He was a jack of all trades, able to do many different jobs. The work in his hands was always humming, but at first, he refused to accept payment, believing that you shouldn't charge friends. Eventually, people stopped paying him altogether because they got used to him doing everything for free. When Ivan started a family, changing the situation became more difficult. He developed a steady client base, but the small town had other specialists less qualified but still familiar. However, Ivan, albeit belatedly, reevaluated his principles. He realized that without money, you can't buy groceries, and you need to clothe your family as well. Gradually, Ivan began setting prices for his work. People had no choice but to pay for his services. In this world, anything is possible, as long as you allow yourself to believe it. If you are comfortable living without money, it will not come to you. Change your attitude towards financial matters, and your life will change as well. Here's your new task. Write down all your beliefs about money on a piece of paper and reflect on each one. For example, I can't have a lot of money. Why do you think that? If you are a skilled professional, you might look for a job with better conditions. Or you could learn a new, in-demand skill and start a new venture. There are many opportunities. Public stereotypes or the belief that money is bad often stem from people's inability to earn a lot of it. They think money can only be obtained through dishonest means, like theft. They believe that in our country, wages are low, especially in factories, or that there isn't enough money for everyone. These beliefs are widespread. The problem is that those who view money as evil are often not trying to earn it. But money is simply a form of energy, necessary not only for living but for personal growth. If you're a good specialist, why let yourself be exploited for a low salary? It means you don't value yourself. Look at what professionals in your field are earning. Ask yourself why you don't aim for a higher salary. It could relieve your stress and free you from worrying about making ends meet. If you're not yet a top professional, money can be a motivation for growth. Learn something new, apply it in practice, and start earning more. For those in creative professions, the situation is even clearer. For instance, if you're an artist painting classic landscapes and feel underpaid, comforting yourself with thoughts of posthumous fame, what's stopping you from researching the market? What types of work are in demand? Perhaps you should explore new painting styles or find a more appreciative market. Sure, you might not earn millions right away, but it's a goal worth pursuing. Money is extremely convenient because it allows you to obtain many things. You won't have to choose between bread and milk, or between paying for electricity and gas. The contradiction of money lies in how it can be used for both good and bad. Spending money to support conflicts is detrimental to your karma, but if you use it to help those in need, it can bring great benefits. Money can enhance both your life and the lives of others. Imagine being a millionaire who can help people raise funds for surgery. It would be a miracle for them, one that you can make happen. Reflect on why you view money as evil. Write down your thoughts and try to find evidence that money can be good. The fear of standing out runs deep in many Russians, leading to a tendency to blend in. But the fear of standing out can prevent you from earning significant money. Why does the idea of standing out from the crowd scare us? We fear misunderstanding, losing friends, and being different. However, this desire to blend in actually harms us. Every person is a unique individual. This can even be supported scientifically. No two people have identical DNA or fingerprints. We are unique, so why should we mimic those around us? We're not suggesting you do anything extreme, but we advise you to find yourself and listen to your own instincts. Ask yourself why you act the way you do. Many people realize that their actions are driven not by their own beliefs but by a desire to conform. While sometimes blending in can be beneficial, it also ensures societal acceptance. But the desire to blend in can be dangerous. The herd mentality can lead to negative outcomes, as seen with the attitude of being like everyone else. If your surroundings despise the wealthy and you align with that perspective, you'll develop negative attitudes towards money and its holders. Strive to be an independent and self-sufficient individual. Set your own boundaries and rules. Don't be afraid if some friends drift away, it's a natural process. And if you live among wealthy people, should you still strive to be an individual? Absolutely. After all, mimicking the rich is tempting. You can hope that, over time, you'll catch up financially with those who are already successful. But here's the catch. Wealthy people often embody strong personalities. They know how to adapt to their surroundings, but they rarely show you what they truly think. Mimicry is not the same as imitation. You don't need to lay your soul bare and share all your beliefs with everyone. However, being a strong personality is crucial, especially when you're surrounded by successful people. Otherwise, you might just go unnoticed. Strong individuals exude confidence on a subtle level. Even if you're wearing torn jeans and an old jacket, if your inner world is rich, people will be drawn to you. Personal qualities are a key area to work on. But what about personality traits? It depends on which traits you're dealing with. From a young age, we're taught to be modest and not push forward, fed slogans like initiative is punishable. And what has that led to? A life of living paycheck to paycheck and dissatisfaction with one's life. Does that sound good to you? If not, then move on. Modesty isn't always a virtue. There's a saying that modesty is the sister of talent. But unfortunately, in our time, this isn't quite the case. Unless you're aiming for posthumous fame. Anyone who wants to achieve something must talk about their accomplishments. Modesty might prevent you from taking on projects you could excel at, like entering a competition. We're not suggesting you shout about your achievements from every corner, but staying silent about your strengths isn't the smartest move either. How will potential employers know what you can do if you don't tell them? Here's a story. Katya, a sweet and very modest girl, loved to sew. She did it masterfully. From any fabric, she created real masterpieces. Her clothing fit any figure perfectly. But she worked as a secretary in a small firm, with a salary barely covering utility bills. Even those around her said, "Katya, you should start your own business, you have talent." But Katya brushed it off. "Oh, come on, I'm not a professional. I didn't study anywhere. Who would care?" If it weren't for Katya's mom, she would have remained in her secretary role. Her mom sent photos and sketches of Katya's work to a city competition. The works won first place in the city, then in the region, and eventually reached the owner of a fashion house in the capital. Now Katya is one of the designers at that fashion house and might soon become a leading designer. She's already been to Paris for training and won several competitions. If you're extremely modest, it's unlikely you'll achieve financial success. Modest people don't talk about their accomplishments and don't demand rewards, settling for what they get. As a result, they might face judgment for being not modest enough. If you're aiming for financial well-being, you'll need to work on yourself. Think about how often you respond to praise with "oh, it's nothing special." Gradually move away from this habit. It's better to say thank you and move on. By the way, many people have this trait. Once they've mastered something new and feel they understand it well, they assume everyone else does too. For example, you might be a great graphic designer who works with graphic editors, but think your services aren't needed because it's not difficult. Cleaning up a photo background or creating a business card seems simple to you. On the other hand, think about this. In many photo studios and advertising agencies, a graphic designer is in high demand. When you first started working with graphic programs, you faced many challenges, but you overcame them and forgot about it. So here's your new task. Take a sheet of paper and list all your skills. These could be small abilities that might seem insignificant at first glance. Being able to make delicate crepes or neatly patch clothes, everything counts. Maybe you can take apart and reassemble a computer with your eyes closed, and it still works. Or sculpt cute little animals out of clay. Write down everything you can do. After that, analyze each of your skills. Perhaps some of them could earn you income. For example, if you're passionate about cooking and interested in new recipes, maybe try pursuing a career as a chef or a pastry chef. And sculpting with clay could be your first step towards starting a pottery business where you make vases and souvenirs for sale. Each of your skills holds a vast amount of potential. The key is to bring those potentials to life. Many of us strive for a quiet life. The happiest time seems to be when nothing happens, especially nothing bad. For some reason, people fear change. Any life change is initially met with resistance. But only over time do we realize that fate is offering us opportunities. Perhaps fate is trying to teach us something new or offer a more interesting path. Your next task is to grab a notebook and pen and remember all the events that made you anxious. An unexpected layoff, a divorce, a serious conflict with friends. Write everything down. And the next task for tomorrow, for example, is to analyze what these changes led to. For instance, the toy car from kindergarten could have taught you strength and agility. A layoff might have led to a much better job with good pay. Why shouldn't you do this task right away? You need time for your memories to crystallize in your mind. We often fear taking on something new because of the fear of failure, but it's in failures that we sharpen our skills, gain experience, and, ultimately, learn how to succeed. Without failures, victory is impossible. You're unlikely to achieve wealth if you're not ready for struggle and change. Imagine if boxers went into the ring without ever having sparred. And in sparring, there are rarely ties. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You could get discouraged and quit. Or you could analyze your mistakes, study your opponent's techniques, and win next time. Failure is an incredible experience that you can use in your future. The inclination towards a mundane existence in some people is sometimes surprising. Imagine waking up in the morning with no joy, heading to a tedious job, working the standard 8 hours, coming back home, turning on the TV, and feeling unfulfilled. Yes, there is stability, some illusory solidity in this way of life. But is this what you want for yourself? The constant sense of dissatisfaction may become your companion for many years. Achievement requires effort and sometimes instability. Move from mere existence to active and conscious pursuit of your goals. You will engage in something exciting, reach your objectives, and earn. I won't succeed anyway. This is another common self-limiting belief. I won't even try because it's going to fail. Psychoanalysts might trace this belief back to deep-rooted childhood experiences. Perhaps, at a very young age, you tried to recite a poem but faltered, forgot the words, or mixed up the lines. As a result, you were mocked, while your potty mate Dasha was praised. You may have forgotten that incident, but the fear of competition remained. These negative beliefs could have been ingrained earlier and reinforced through a series of small disappointments. Whether it's childhood issues or simply laziness and reluctance to act, if you continue with such a mindset, your dreams of wealth will remain just that, dreams. If you truly want to become wealthy, remember one simple thing: take action. The process of working on yourself and the world around you is really simple. First, set a main goal. We'll discuss how to do this a bit later. Then break it into several intermediate goals and start taking action. Make mistakes, stay motivated, and keep acting. If doubts interfere, try immersing yourself fully in the process and enjoy it. That's how you'll achieve your goals. Chapter 4. If you're at home. Certainly, personality development depends on upbringing and innate qualities, but the most significant impact on our relationship with the world comes from our daily actions and habits. Some of these are particularly harmful to our financial growth. If you truly want to achieve financial well-being, you'll need to get rid of these habits. What are these habits? You economize on everything. You meticulously search for products a few rubles cheaper, refuse to buy new shoes, and wear an old scarf. But somehow, your money doesn't increase, it seems to decrease. Why is this? What's the mystery? The habit of constantly cutting costs instead of making wise investments in yourself and your needs only deepens the financial crisis. Esotericists claim that money is not just coins and paper but materialized energy, and it has its own peculiarities. Money attracts money. The rich become richer, while the poor, well, you know how it goes. But money also requires attention, respect, and love. Even without considering esoteric aspects, ordinary psychology doesn't paint a prettier picture. By being stingy, you constantly broadcast, "I am poor, I don't have enough money." We've already discussed how harmful this is. You deprive yourself of essentials, so you cannot enjoy either money or life. Constant restrictions can create an even greater sense of scarcity, preventing you from seeing opportunities. Such beliefs need to be eliminated. And another aspect, daily life. You buy cheap products, but how beneficial are they? You know that poor quality food can negatively affect your health. You go to free clinics and use cheap medical services, hoping for the doctor's qualifications. You buy inexpensive items that quickly wear out and lose their appearance. As a result, either you end up wearing worn-out clothes, which lowers your self-esteem, or you soon face the need to update your wardrobe, which isn't cheap these days. Think you saved a lot. Chasing cheapness, you waste precious time, which is an incredibly important resource. Get rid of the habit of economizing on everything. We're not suggesting you spend money on the most expensive items, but strive to choose quality goods. Don't reward yourself. What's there to be happy about? You might ask. You'll truly be able to enjoy later, when you have enough money for all the desired purchases. For now, what's there to be happy about? An empty fridge, old clothes in your closet, or a small salary? Joy is the engine of life. If you find joy, life will begin to respond in kind. Optimism attracts luck, it's proven. So, become an optimist. Remember, there are no problems that can't be solved. And here's another tip. Get rid of the word problems from your vocabulary. Replace it with tasks. I'll solve this task sounds much more positive. Moreover, such a phrase will command your subconscious mind to start finding solutions and eventually lead you to success. The desire for quick profits. It seems that if we got $1 million right now, life would take on new colors. Somehow, people unhappy with their financial situation strive to grab a bigger piece of the pie. They dive into ventures and cling to the idea of extraordinary profits instead of building a path of stable financial growth. But why is the desire for quick profits considered detrimental to achieving wealth? Here's an exercise. Imagine that right now, or tomorrow, a magician in a blue helicopter hands you a case with $1 million. Visualize this situation vividly. Feel the money in your hands. Write down how you would spend this unexpected wealth. Most people respond, I don't know, I'll pay off debts, I'll help needy friends, I'll buy a lot of necessary things, I'll buy a big country house. Statistics show that unexpectedly acquired wealth quickly disappears, leaving no trace. You don't get richer, you spend money easily, and it's gone. Why? Because we haven't educated ourselves in financial literacy. We don't know how to handle money. And without this knowledge, any wealth that comes to us dissipates. Temporary gains will quickly fade away. You'll pay off your debts, enjoy a bit of pleasure, and perhaps buy that dream apartment. But will your life truly become one of a successful person? Why not? Because the money will run out, and you'll find yourself back at your regular job with a standard salary. And some of those purchases might even diminish your quality of life. For instance, a larger apartment will mean higher utility bills. What about maintaining a country house? You might think that acquiring real estate or a vacation home will solve your financial issues, but this is just a temporary fix. Such assets can require substantial investment and ongoing attention. Without proper financial management, these could lead to extra expenses and stress. True financial improvement demands a systematic approach and strategic planning. So, don't just focus on immediate comfort, aim for long-term goals. What's the solution in this scenario? Don't concentrate on short-term profits, create a financial plan that leads to stability and prosperity. Instead of putting your efforts into questionable projects with no future, plan your life several years ahead. This approach will prove far more beneficial. And of course, start delving into financial literature. Learning to handle money is crucial. Chapter 5. In the financial world. They say the financial world is harsh. Money isn't available for everyone, and the best opportunities are long gone. But if you look at the biographies of the wealthiest people of our time, you'll see a pattern. Many financial magnates started from nothing, with not a penny to their name, and climbed to the top. Life in the financial world is tough but also fascinating. There's a lot to learn here. Are you working for money, or are you working on money? Let's start with an exercise. Grab a sheet of paper and a pen, and answer the following questions. Why do you work? What do you like about your job? What don't you like? Most of us work for a paycheck, content with dreams and not striving for more. Most people work for money. They don't analyze their financial expenditures. They receive their paycheck, spend it on immediate needs, and wait for the next paycheck. What does it mean to work on money? And what's the difference? Working on money means allocating your income between expenses and investments. Here, you act a bit wiser and more forward-thinking. You start building your financial activities, but the essence remains the same. You won't necessarily see an increase in wealth even if your income rises. Assets don't generate income but often require additional expenses. Sometimes financial success depends on your willingness to invest in yourself. Expanding your knowledge and skills can open new opportunities and increase your value in the job market. Remember, every asset needs careful management. Making informed decisions and understanding your financial goals are keys to achieving financial well-being. Suppose you've increased your income and decide to buy a vacation home, thinking of it as an investment where you'll grow flowers and vegetables. But there are dangers here. Expenses for maintaining a vacation home are inevitable. Plants need care, and you may not have enough time. No matter how high quality the property, it will deteriorate over time, and you might not be able to sell it for the same price in a few years. In today's world, it's often cheaper to buy fruits and vegetables at the market than to grow them yourself. The essence remains: money isn't working for you. You're working for it, and you end up with less free time and more expenses. Money doesn't work for you. You're unlikely to become wealthy if money isn't working for you. So how do you make it work? Understand that money tends to devalue over time. Even if you've saved a substantial amount the old-fashioned way, it could disappoint you in a few years. And think of the sacrifices and hardships that went into saving it. It wasn't worth it. So, what should you do? The rich get richer for one simple reason: their money works for them. And anyone can achieve this. Money spent on fleeting pleasures doesn't leave a mark, it doesn't grow. But if you invest it wisely, the simplest method is to deposit money in a bank account with interest. Unfortunately, interest rates are low, and no one is immune from default. But the risk is minimal, and there's no need for fuss. However, this won't bring you great wealth. There are more complex methods. Play the stock market or use a professional broker's services. Your capital will grow. Invest in securities, stocks, promising enterprises, and sectors. Put your money into high-potential areas. Investing in something new can yield substantial returns. Real estate, especially commercial properties, is considered a relatively stable investment. Buy an office or a store and rent it out. Start your own business. It may not be profitable right away, but over time, it will generate income. You can also collect art or precious items that don't lose value over time. Invest in your education and learning new skills. Money left idle will erode over time, but if it's working for you, you'll stay in profit. People are enigmatic. They tend to settle for what they have, even though they often dream of a better life. The result is that work becomes irritating. Salaries are clearly insufficient, but people don't see the opportunities around them. They sit idle, believing nothing will change. If you belong to this category, you're unlikely to become wealthy. A miracle isn't going to happen, and millions won't fall into your lap from some mysterious uncle in America. You won't achieve financial prosperity if you only work for a salary, putting all your effort into your job. You don't seek other ways to apply your potential. You don't strive to develop yourself. The words learning something new scare you to the core. If your determination to become wealthy is still strong, you'll need to work on yourself. Here's another exercise. Analyze your job in writing. Are you satisfied with it? Why or why not? What can you do right now to change the situation? Perhaps taking a qualification course could increase your income. Maybe it's time to change jobs. Fears accompany us at every step. Changing jobs is always stressful. You leave your familiar team and start interacting with new people. You'll need to adapt to new management and present your best self, all while your mind races with anxious thoughts. What if I don't fit in? What if we don't get along? What if I get fired? What if this is a scam, and I work the probation period only to end up with nothing? All these things could happen. But if you don't try to change your life, nothing will change. Think about it. Do you want to earn 2 to 3 times more? Or are you dreaming of significantly higher income? Decide. If you're content with just an increased income, then work on improving your qualifications. Look for better job conditions. Analyze the possibilities within your industry. How much can your income grow? What does it take? If you're aiming for significant income but it seems unlikely in your current job, you may need to change fields. That's okay. You'll discover hidden talents, find more interesting work, and learn a lot. The key is to answer all these questions honestly. Here's a story that wraps things up nicely. There was an artist, a typical graduate of an art school with no exceptional talent. He painted pictures, and he did it decently. He collaborated with publishers, held local exhibitions, and sold his work. It wasn't as if he was earning a lot, given that canvases and paints are significant financial investments, and there were fewer and fewer art enthusiasts, especially among craftsmen. The artist felt that his work wasn't bringing the results he had hoped for, and this created a sense of failure. Deep inside, he harbored dissatisfaction with his life. Royalties were unstable and not growing, while prices kept climbing. When you're alone, you can live on bread and tea, but when a family and children come along, it becomes tough. The artist turned out to be a very proactive person. He understood that to achieve success, he needed to stop viewing his problems as insurmountable obstacles and start taking action. Once the idea of change finally took shape in his mind, he began exploring new paths. He tried related professions, perhaps advertising or design. He learned to work with volume, sculpting clay pots and making plaster figurines. At his mini exhibition, he showcased several new pieces. The artist was surprised when he read positive reviews about his sculptures in the press. Soon, he received an order for garden sculptures from a wealthy client. Since then, the orders have been endless. The artist became a sculptor and was very pleased with this new direction. Chapter 6. Most problems lie in the mind. There's a saying, all diseases come from nerves. Similarly, most life challenges are products of our nervous system. All problems are in our heads, and most people tend to blame the world around them for their failures. Particularly dangerous for financial well-being are subconscious or conscious beliefs turned into action patterns. One such belief is the notion that success can be achieved without overcoming difficulties or changing oneself. What are these beliefs, and what should we do about them? Let's discuss this now. If you complain about yourself, you won't achieve much in this life. If you tend to pity yourself thinking, I'm poor, unfortunate, unlucky, a failure, then you won't see any growth in your income. Self-pity is a destructive feeling that drains energy. People who pity themselves rarely change anything in their lives. They are content to complain to others about their troubles and feel satisfied with that. Self-pity is the lowest form of cowardice, as Marcus Aurelius wrote. Take a piece of paper and a pen and write down all the moments when you felt sorry for yourself. Now, note the times you complained to others and what you felt. Were you satisfied with the sympathy? Did it feel good? Do you think people understand you? This is hard work because we don't like to admit our own shortcomings, even to ourselves. But this task must be done. If you want to achieve wealth, you need to overcome this destructive trait. What processes are triggered when you complain about life? If you need pity, you seek it from others or yourself. For that, you need objective reasons. If you have a good family, a great job, and plenty of money, people won't pity you. And you won't engage in this destructive practice unless you feel inadequate. It's important to remember that self-pity not only slows your progress but also creates a negative image of you in the eyes of others. But before fighting the habit of self-pity, let's understand how it works. We need others' pity to feel their care and love. Remember childhood. Many of us liked being sick because our parents showed care and affection. The principle is the same here. If you need external validation, you probably undervalue yourself. When you lack inner strength and confidence, you need external affirmations. Because you don't believe in yourself, even if you repeatedly say, I love and respect myself. The easiest way to get others' attention is to evoke pity. People are inclined towards pity. Let's dig deeper. As long as you have no money, there is pity yours or others. Once you have money, pity will disappear. So, to increase your financial assets, you need to get rid of pity. By the way, people usually pity the unfortunate, sick, and failures. Do you consider yourself in such categories? Do you lack arms, legs, or a head? Are you living in a dump, knowing no warmth of home? No. So where does this pity come from? Self-pity is inherently more aggressive and destructive. It often indicates a lack of maturity. If a person fears taking responsibility for their actions and understanding that they are the cause of their successes and failures, they start looking for convenient excuses for self-pity. I hope you understand that you shouldn't pity yourself. Don't seek pity from others. Now you can start fighting it. First, determine why you need pity. What are you seeking from it? Write down all your thoughts on a piece of paper. Reflect on each point. Even at this stage, you will learn a lot. Now a few recommendations for removing pity from your life. Write them down, understand them, and start working. Take responsibility for your life. Everything you do is needed by you for some reason. Everything happening in your life is the result of your actions, thoughts, and desires. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the master of your life. Accept that. You are a unique creation of nature or a creator, depending on your belief. Learn to love and value yourself. Envy towards neighbors is another destructive feeling. We waste a lot of emotional energy on envy instead of reaching our goals. We look at others' lives and dream of something similar. Some people say they envy with white envy. Remember, envy doesn't come in black, white, or any other color. Envy is envy, and your desire to have the same or see something disappear from your neighbor doesn't matter. By envying, you give your energy to the object of your emotions. Instead of getting up from the couch and doing something to achieve your goals, you waste time analyzing the lives of your neighbors or strangers. This is entirely unconstructive. Here's one more task. Recall and write down whom and when you envied. Why? What, apart from destructive emotions, did envy bring you? Now take the rule. As soon as you feel envy, do something. For example, paint a picture, embroider a flower, sew a sock in an unusual way, or make a stool. This way, you will gradually rid yourself of envy and channel your energy into a more positive direction. It might seem simple, but it's a highly effective exercise. Thanks to it, you will stop envying and start taking decisive steps. The ability to act is the first step to financial prosperity. Remember, there's never too much money. Here's another destructive mindset that many people encounter: disbelief in their own abilities. This feeling is closely related to envy. Instead of envying the material possessions of others, you envy their ability to acquire them. You look at them and tell yourself, "I can't do that." Disbelief in your own abilities leads to inaction and stagnation in life. As a result, your dreams of financial success remain just that, dreams. It's crucial to understand that every success starts with believing in yourself. First, thoroughly analyze your life. Find what you excel at better than others. Are you into cross-stitching? Great, start studying successful people in that field. Do you paint with oils, collect books, or stamps? Find wealthy individuals with similar interests. And of course, continue to develop your skills. Why shouldn't you be rich? Perhaps you're just looking in the wrong places. This simple exercise will help shift your mindset. Gradually, you'll start believing in yourself, learn to take action, and achieve financial success. Chapter 7. Allow yourself to be rich. We are not wealthy because we don't have money. We can't become wealthy because we don't allow ourselves to be. Each person creates their own happiness, including financial independence. It's important to recognize that achieving wealth requires developing not only professional skills but also personal qualities. If you can't even imagine how you'll suddenly become rich, where will the money come from? Dreams won't help here, because in dreams, we only see the end result, lots of money. The path to achieving it remains out of sight. Independence is a value. Rich people share one common trait: they've allowed themselves to be independent of others' opinions. What about you? How dependent are you on others' opinions? Can you be yourself? No. Then where will your wealth come from? Here's a little secret. Serious money loves new paths. Find your path, follow it, and you will be rewarded. Don't react to statements from others like, "You won't succeed, give up on this nonsense." At first, try to tell even your close ones less about your plans. The less they know, the better you can protect your progress from external influence. How can we, who are used to seeking approval from others, allow ourselves independence? Simply take responsibility for your life. It's not that hard. The key is to make a decision, and by following the outlined exercises, you'll learn to control what happens to you. Independence is the first step towards wealth. Remember, people don't always like those who are different from them. In our world, where wealthy people are few, the poor often harbor negative feelings toward them. To avoid painful remarks when you become rich, start learning independence now. Only a complete person can become independent. Wholeness is a state of harmony with oneself and the world. You value yourself appropriately, without overpraising, and you fight your flaws. You grow spiritually and physically. Physical development and sports are great ways to boost self-esteem. Gradually, you'll see progress in exercises that were once difficult, and you'll start to take pride in yourself. That's exactly what you need. Engage in sports or dancing, read insightful books, develop yourself, and achieve a lot. It's important to remember that independence and wholeness are not just personal traits but also the keys to financial success. We are responsible for our own lives. We tend to blame fate or the government for our failures. But how true is that? If you went out without an umbrella and it rained, is the rain to blame? Or the weather forecast that didn't warn you? And if you were fired, is the employer truly to blame? Or did you not try hard enough? Or perhaps the boss doesn't let go of valuable employees. When you're tempted to blame fate or your neighbor for your failures, remind yourself, this is my life, and I'm responsible for it. Everything that happens is the result of my actions. If it happened, it was meant to be. Everything that doesn't work out is leading to something better. Problems are life's tasks. By solving them, you'll rise to a new level of development and achieve greater income. Incorporate this habit into your life, stop feeling sorry for yourself, and everything will work out. Our minds are full not only of problems but also of opportunities. Remember that a problem is simply a task set by life. Problems are necessary for spiritual and material growth. A person must constantly evolve. Move forward, don't stand still, or you'll end up like a strange wanderer. There's an old story about Nicodemus, who couldn't make a living in his village because there was already a carpenter there. he decided to move to a neighboring village where there was no carpenter. But upon reaching the swamp, he saw only small, scary lumps. He jumped on them, got tired, and fell asleep. When he woke up, he saw that the lump was big and had berries, nests, and even animals running around. But the marshland ahead was vast and the journey would be long. Who knows what awaits him in that village? Perhaps he won't have any luck there either. He stayed on the swamp lump. You don't want to get stuck in one place, no matter how attractive it might seem. So, take action. Let's learn how to set goals. Moving on to the most crucial aspect of achieving what you desire, goal setting. If you don't know how to set goals that align with your abilities, it's tough to reach a high level of income. So, how do you set goals? First, take a piece of paper and a pen. Write down what you want. Be precise and specific. The phrasing shouldn't be "I want to earn millions." Instead, say, "I want to earn $1 million in 10 years. That's the upper limit of your goal. Dream without restrictions. Now, come back to the present. To earn $1 million in 10 years, you need to make $100,000 per year. Multiply your monthly expenses by 12 and add $100, zero to the number. Round up. Now you understand how much you need to earn per year to reach your goal. Divide that amount by 12 to see your monthly income. Next, set a closer goal, such as a monthly income of $10,000 within 5 years. Determine how much your income should grow each year. Use all your abilities, review completed tasks, and decide what you'll do to achieve this income. Start planning today. For instance, enroll in a training course this week. A month after the course, look for a new job to gain experience and become a valuable specialist. If I'm not promoted in the next 3 months, I will immediately start searching for new opportunities to leverage my skills. Remember, career growth should not just be a goal but a strategy. Don't be afraid to take risks and explore new paths if your current job isn't fulfilling. Include investment opportunities in your plan for when your income becomes substantial. Financial planning involves understanding how and where to invest your money for maximum growth. To ensure your money doesn't vanish into immediate needs, it must work for you. Identify which sources will provide you with passive income and which will generate active income. Continuously evaluate the effectiveness of your investment decisions and adjust them as necessary. Write all this down and keep developing your ideas. Ensure your actions are aligned with long-term goals. Meticulous planning is the key to your success. Good luck. Thank you for your likes and comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Wishing you all the best.